right, kids, are we going to go on a little adventure?
Yes. Which way are we going? This way, that way, or that way?
Let's start this way. Look, butterfly.
Yeah.
Butterfly.
Oh, I've never been close to a butterfly that.
All right, can y'all find some figs to eat?
Yeah. Does this look good? If
Is
they're
it-
super soft.
If there's little cracks in it, yeah, it should be really good.
Yeah, there's a little crack there.
Here's one.
Okay.
Not quite perfect, but good.
Oh my God. There's white ooze.
That's latex. Okay, what'd you find?
These much.
Ooh-wee.
Wait, there's some more.
Here, Charlie, try this one. See if it's good.
Did you get those ones up there? Oh.
Look at the color there. Do you know a fig is an inverted flower?
No.
That means this kind of grows inside out.
Whoa. All the berries back in.
So this
Daddy,
is-
later can we go get some more figs?
Yeah,
A lizard.
there are lizards everywhere. All right,
Wait,
we are in
Dad, look at
Wetland
that
Zone 1
tiny-
here.
I saw a super tiny lizard.
There are baby lizards all over the place.
No, they're like this super small. Super small.
Look over here.
Wait, we know what's over here?
Look at that. What is this over here?
A elephant ear.
These are actually edible taro.
Wait, what? I thought these were elephant ears.
Well, you can call them whatever, but these are edible version.
Whoa. So I
Ain't
can
that
eat
neat?
one?
No, you can't eat them raw.
You can
You
cook
get
them
sick.
too?
Yeah, you cook the tubers. Over here.
The mulberries.
What's over
Yay.
here? What is this?
A banana tree. A banana.
So this is pokeweed or poke salad, and you can't eat that unless you boil it and rinse it 2 or 3 times, and then you fry
There's a
it.
lot of mosquitoes back here.
But what is this? Here's something y'all can eat.
What is it?
So this is sweet potato vine.
Ooh, I wonder what the
Try it, Charlie.
Okay.
Good?
It tastes like sweet potatoes. What about this?
No, it doesn't.
What about this?
Yep, that's sweet potato vines. You can eat the leaves in your salad or fry them up or whatever.
Oh, I really wish I tried them fried up.
These here with the orange flowers.
I don't know. I don't.
So this is a Mexican tithonia. It's one that reseeds every year. Mexican sunflower.
Wow. What's this?
That's a Mexican sunflower.
Oh. Can you eat
And look
it?
at all these elderberries up here.
Whoa. Whoa. There's a lot of them.
We need to make some elderberry jelly this year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look up your head.
What is this? Take a leaf, rub it in your fingers, and smell it. And this is, you can make teas with this.
Oh. It's cheap.
It's a lemon verbena.
Wait, what's Johnny eating? Oh,
Smell it, smell
that
it, smell
actually
it.
smells like lemon candy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And this is arrowroot,
Whoa.
which you can process into like a thickener for your various dishes. All right, continuing on through Wetland Zone 1 here. Look it up there. There's some nice elderberries.
Yep. There's a lot of them. We have so much all day, and that was a loss.
Look up there. We got bananas.
Well, where are the bananas?
You don't see them up there with that big bloom? Look. All right, so this is a Suriname cherry here. And it got a freeze in 2022 and has not bloomed since. But hopefully it'll have fruits on it. And we're trying to air layer it.
And
What is this?
grapefruit.
Yep, grapefruit. And a lot of them have fallen.
Yes.
A lot of them right here.
A lot of them are like.
All right, so we skipped a lot of stuff on wetlands and all. Jade, our middle son, has been whiny and couldn't really put that on video. Him whining.
Oh,
Squirrel hole, probably.
was it?
What is it, JJ? What's wrong? So we were going to try to do, like, since we're homeschooling, try to identify plants and stuff. But this guy here decided to whine because he got a little bit of a mosquito bite or an itch. Right? Right, JJ? I really wanted to implement like permaculture and gardening into their school, but maybe they're a little bit too young. What are these guys here?
Huckleberries.
Beauty berries.
Oh,
See, they're not ripe yet
why is there mosquitoes getting on them?
because now we're closer to the forest, shady area. You know, we're at this forest here, swamp, a lot of water and moisture and, you know, not a lot of sunlight back here. What are what?
There's red berries.
So those are coral ardesia. They're a very bad plant that has been just taken over here with air potatoes and camphor trees. Very bad plants that are hard to get rid of.
What is that grass?
That is an air layer I'm attempting on a wild vaccinium blueberry, but I don't think it's taken. So that's a bad thing.
Orange tree.
That's a red navel there. So I planted that white sapote plant right there. There's a little jabota cava. There's an avocado there.
Daddy,
Way
can we
back.
go to our plants?
We want to see y'all's plants that y'all planted.
Yes.
Okay.
A moth.
Yep, a lot of wild ferns here, a lot of wild grapes, trumpet vines, some of these swamp or whatever magnolias here.
And now we're going to look at our plants.
Your plants.
Yeah.
Okay. And look at here. We got guavas. If they survive.
Small grasshoppers on it. A small brown one. Don't kill it.
If they survive.
Look at that small.
They getting some insect damage or something, obviously. Look at all them holes in the leaves.
Yeah, that could be from a caterpillar.
Caterpillars or those big giant grasshoppers. Which one's yours, JJ? Is this it? So, wow, that thing's taller than you. Look at that. Do you like that plant?
And this one's mine, right?
Yep, there's an old weed there. We had to replant that one
Wait,
because
whose is that?
that is just an oak tree that came up there. Where is Jonathan's? Gonna go show it to us, JJ?
I thought it was bigger, but
Look how big that is. That one's taller than you too, ain't it, JJ? Charlie, come over here and see if that's taller than you by at least an inch or so.
I'm about tall as it.
About the same size.
And there's also thorns.
Big old
on
thorns there,
it.
yep.
What tree is it called?
So these are cocktail grapefruit seedlings. So hopefully they come relatively true to seed and we'll have 3 or 4 cocktail grapefruit trees producing, you know, in the next, hopefully the next 5 or 6 years.
Mushroom.
Yep, that's a mushroom that Charlie found.
Uh-huh.
What else can you find here? I want to show you something else.
Oh.
Look at here. This here is a native holly tree. Just come up. We didn't plant it. We got like 2 or 3 natives.
Web. There's also a spider on it.
Where's the spider?
He's on that plant.
Okay. Charlie, these are goldenrods.
Oh.
I think this is a different species than the ones that are on the other side of the property. These
What's
are like
this?
a dwarf one, a goldenrod that just died. So they'll be
broke it.
full of yellow flowers, and you can make teas out of them.
Well, I just broke it.
Look at here. So after they flower,
Wait, what are those?
there's going to be a seed head. So there's going to be seeds in that pod, or I don't know if you'd call it a fruit pod or what. But these are magnolia trees, not southern magnolias.
Okay.
They have way smaller flowers.
Why do they look like big mulberries?
Because that's just what they look like. Okay, so this here, what do you think this is?
Banana tree.
Nope. This is turmeric.
Why does it look like
And this is culinary ginger.
Oh,
They're both related to each other.
so you can make a ginger candy with this?
If you had enough, you could use the roots or tubers.
Can I,
No, don't pull them up.
can I smell it?
I don't. Probably.
Yeah, it smells like different.
Let me sort of crush it up. Yeah, it kind of has a little gingery smell. You want to smell it, DJ?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crush it up here.
It
Smell it. See if it smells good.
smells
Taste
good.
it. You want to see if it tastes good? No.
Daddy, where
Little trail we kind of.
Yeah, and there's
Just
also
recently
mulberries in
cut.
here. There's also mulberries. Cover that.
Well, so much for that. Let's go this way towards this. Of course, I kind of mowed just a little spot over here the other day. after mowing the trail a few weeks ago.
And there's also a snake that lives somewhere over here.
So here are our pomelo tree, tangelo there, and blood orange, and these little mycorrhizal raised beds that we're working on.
And there's a snake in there that lives.
Maybe.
Oh, you got a spider web on you.
Well, we probably need to do a proper trail video without kids so I can get it kind of give you a better idea of how big this place is and the plantings. We're kind of just sporadic and all over the place here.
Huckleberries.
Nope, those are elderberries.
Can you get one?
And there are morning glory flowers.
Can you get one?
There are a couple elderberries. Can't eat a bunch of them or you'll get a stomach ache, but you can try them. Are they good? Are they bitter?
Good.
You want to eat that last one?
No. I think I just saw that grasshopper. No, it's that grasshopper. That grasshopper's everywhere.
Ooh, this is that blackbird mulberry that we grafted way down there, and it was growing probably 3/4 to 1 inch a day. Now it's kind of started slowing down. It's kind of getting, you know, a little bit brown on the bark from that green growth like up here. So it's kind of hardening off. It's drooping a little bit less every day, so it seems like it's putting a lot of its energy into strengthening and versus just growing a massive amount. So it is looking really good. It is probably close to 6 foot. And here's that Christmas loquat that we grafted onto that big giant, former giant tree. It's not, you know, we cut it off. But as you can see, it's getting to be over that area there. So we did a side veneer graft way down here, you know, and it's probably grown about 10 inches or so, 8 inches. And if you count the leaf size, probably 14 inches. But as you can see, the stalk or stem or whatever you want to call it, that's going to be the new trunk, is going past the old trunk. And we may just tie it back on there a little bit soon and call it a day. We did not get that almost ½ inch of rain last night, or at 6 p.m. that we were supposed to get. It rained 4 or 5 times, but not super hard. But it looks like we got, it looks like fall. Look at all the leaves just falling. Wind, a little bit of sprinkling now. And then it said, the weather report early this morning said 0.59 inches of rain today, and then it went down to like 0.03 or something. So yeah, we were supposed to get almost ½ an inch yesterday. We were supposed to get over ½ an inch today. We'll see how it goes because they already changed it to very little rain. Got some of these milkweed pods already busting loose with the seeds here. Most of them will fill over there. Got another flower way over there, which I'm not going to try to go through all them weeds right now to get a close up. Well, we're starting to get a little bit harder rain now. The frogs were just yapping. And I said in the last video, I hope I can get something in the ground planted on this video, on the next video, which this is it. But maybe not, if it's going to be rainy. Then we just pulled this jujube sucker, you know, out just so we can check something out. That's cool. There are 2, I think, suckers right there coming from the root system, and possibly another one there. So this root sucker we just put in a pot, what, a month, 2 months at max ago, he's already creating more suckers. So that's probably a pretty good sign that this guy's alive and healthy, and it's wanting to just shoot more suckers out. The more suckers that we can create, divide, and keep alive equals more opportunities in the future to do grafting. And I don't know if you recall, if you've been watching this channel for a little while, we've had bad luck keeping them alive, and I've planted them in 2 or 3 different places, different soil levels and types of soil, you know, sand, wet areas. But I think this is going to give us the opportunity to try to put them in even more areas to try to keep them alive. Once we find a place where they're happy if we can find a place where they're happy, we can go ahead and try to maximize production via getting new cultivars, scion wood pieces to graft onto those root suckers for pollination purposes and stuff. So if you only have one, you may not have any, or you may have a very small amount of fruit. Technically, when you have a grafted plant like the mother tree or whatever, you also have a genetically different plant that suckers. And I may or may not have another root sucker. I'll have to look and see if it survives somehow. And then we have another jujube seedling, which I'm not even convinced is the same species or whatever. It may be an Indian or something, because it's not very cold tolerant. It survives sometimes with major dieback, and it flowers at a different time as the grafted ones do. This guy here is it. It's got morning glories all wrapped around it, so it's kind of growing crooked. But this is the one that the boring insects got last year. So it died to the ground basically, but the roots, it basically created another root sucker, and now it would probably be 14 foot high if it wasn't being pulled down by those vines. But the leaf size, shapes, and everything is different than our grafted one here. Way smaller leaves, more narrow leaves, I would say. Although I don't know, maybe they're a similar shape, but the size is definitely way smaller on these grafted ones, and even the root suckers from the grafted ones, they're pretty much the same. So I'm thinking that other one is a different species. Now, a couple of the things I said I was going to show you, or hope that I would remember to show you in this next video. This video now is, here's one of those pawpaw root suckers from the Tennessee avocado one. So it just appeared this season. But also, look at these massive leaves from this. This is the Summer Delight. Oh, look at that. This is the one we just grafted. I wonder if we can go pull one from our pandam, our mature plant, and see if we can compare the size of these leaves. Walking up to the pandam. Remember, this is a mature tree. You could probably just compare. And this is one of the bigger ones. There's smaller ones on this tree. See? Here's a bigger one from a pandam sucker. This is pretty big. Let's compare these guys. This is the Pennsylvania Golden. So pretty much similar. So just based on the last couple years of experience with root suckers, I know that they grow more vigorously. They have, it's obvious, larger leaves than the mother plant. But there's also a question or potential that plants grown in heavier shade actually produce bigger leaves, and that Summer Delight, that Tennessee avocado, it's definitely more shady than this almost full sun panhandle seedling pandam. And I've noticed a few other shady location plants with pretty big leaves, and some of them don't have that big of leaves, but more often than not, it does seem like shadier plants have bigger leaves. What we found here, some garden huckleberries. Yum, yum. They look good. Do they taste good? Most of them, I think, are done for the season. Look at there, some nice big ones. Look at that. Nightshade or garden huckleberries.
What's this? It was in that path.
Well, rain again. Well, I got another pack of cherry plums, and this is the last one they had. These guys sold out super fast. I guess that kind of shows there are probably a lot of northerners in Florida right now. A lot of campgrounds popping up and campgrounds expanding all over my area. And a lot of them are probably used to eating these guys back home. And expanding on that idea, I bought like 5 peaches, yellow peaches, and they smelled so good. They got a nice give to them, but they're a little bit tangy. They're not like fall apart peaches like I'm used to, like ones we used to grow here in the olden days. But they make really good pie peaches. But we're kind of expanding that idea of planting seeds from your prunus, from your peaches, plums, not really apricots, nectarines, plumcots, pluots, and seeing what we get. What is this? Is it a cherry plum? So we had a previous garden vlog where JJ ate one, and now we got the youngest. Bite into it. Bite as much off of you can of that pit, that seed, as you can. Then when you're done eating it, give it to me so we can ferment it, clean it up, and get it ready to plant. Cold stratified. Is it good? What does it taste like? Like a plum? All right, keep eating that thing. Get it all eaten? Can you eat some more around it? Just kind of scrape that off of there. Scrape that flesh as much as you can. All right, that's as good as you can do. Hopefully we can ferment this off of here. Some people would use like a wire brush or something to clean it, but we'll see what we gotta do. Right? So the other day on another video, we were planting jaboticabas and stuff. This guy doesn't look too bad. Most of them, you know, that guy doesn't look too bad. A lot of them though were green. And you might be saying, well, even though they were small, the ones we put on the ground, they look green. But look at here. Yellowing, 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 yellowing. Barely any growth. Yellowing, yellowing. You know, a lot of top dye back. Yellowing or going white. This guy here was even green when we put it up here a few days ago. Look at there. It lost all its leaves and it's dead or dying, it seems. This is why we couldn't, you know, just give them away. They're just sickly. I think it's time, since this Christmas loquat is going over that little rootstock area. As you can see, it starts here and comes up. We're going to put a little paraffin and wrap around there. Not super tight, but this guy in a few weeks will probably just loosen up or break, maybe a few months, and this will kind of just hold it, you know, using that rootstock kind of as like a bamboo stake. So as it gets this top growth, it's probably will hopefully be less inclined to just break off. Now I'll tell whoever gets this guy maybe to tie it with, you know, some plastic tape or something else, or put a bamboo stake on it if it gets too much growth. But this is all we can do for now. Right, so there we go. This tie on there is pulling it a little bit, but hopefully that'll just keep it tight enough for a little while longer. And maybe I'll go ahead and wrap this area again just to try to strengthen everything up, make sure it's going to do well, and give it just that little bit more protection. Right, we just did a little wrap there. There's like 2.5 inch piece there just to hold it steady. And as you can see, the original was falling apart anyway. This will disintegrate in the sun just like the other one. And if it gets any growth pushed out, it'll just break it loose anyway. So hopefully this protects it until it gets established. We're back here with this totem pole where the totem bed is for the Mineola tangelo. We got the palmettos here and stuff, and there's some southern junipers right here, but there's a hill here. This is probably where an old tire used to be. So I'm going to just put a couple of these sad looking jaboticabas in there if I can dig there. And I'd already started throwing sticks around it, so kind of making it a post-mycorrhizal bed, even though there hasn't been anything planted in here in a long time. I don't know what was here, if I planted a quince or something else like 20 years ago here. that never, made it. And being that some southern junipers really have some type of chemical property, when you put them in compost and stuff, that's supposed to not allow certain plants or whatever to thrive. We're just going to experiment and see. These guys are dying anyway. There's the tag. There's one. There's the other one that's either dead, dying, or maybe it'll come back. I just found another one, red hybrid jaboticaba that's dead. See, this brown, not passing the scratch test. So I guess we got another pot and some soil for something else. We're in the same area, and that is an oak tree. And guess what? By that fence there is the south side of an oak tree. And if you guys have been vigilant about watching all of our videos, you probably are saying, I remember you saying something about something that could potentially survive here, a tropical plant that is said to be able to survive on the south side of an oak tree. Swiss cheese plant. Now it's hard as heck to dig there. Hopefully we can get it, the roots and all to be covered here. We're gonna try. Not easy to dig between these big giant roots, where there's roots all under here as well. But we're gonna give it our best shot. There it is. That's not all dirt. There's leaves and organic matter sticks and stuff, but maybe we'll bring some more leaves. I'm definitely concerned that it's not gonna retain water and stuff, and the roots might dry out, but we're gonna just give it some water. Of course, we could have bought a bag of pot and soil and just put half a bag or a whole bag here around it, but it sort of defeats the purpose. You may be saying, well, why put a plant out there that's not going to produce fruit or anything, out in the ground where it's going to get major cold damage and all that? Well, it is a house plant here for most people, but if it survives, if it throws out suckers like my original did, that's how I got these other plants. I got like 4 or 5 of them just based on having a Swiss cheese plant for like 2 years or so. And I'm sure every time you separate a sucker, plant it in a different pot or something else like that, each one of them are eventually going to throw suckers. So if these guys self-propagate, that gives us more materials to give away, trade, or whatever. So it's a way to possibly make money in the future or gain new plant materials, or just to give back to the garden community here. But it is also an experiment. Are these people right? Are these people 15 or 30 miles, south of me, and am I getting colder weather, where despite having it on a south wall, a south side of a big giant oak tree, it won't survive? So it's going to give us some answers. It looks like we're fixing to get another storm. We've been getting a lot of rain lately. Rain has probably been one of the big reasons, at least like 50-60% of the reasons why we probably aren't doing just a video a day versus going out and shooting a little bit here and a little bit there. I really don't like shooting the garden vlogs over 2 days, but we had like a 3 or 4 day one where it was like an hour long the other day that we uploaded. And that's probably too much for anybody. It gets boring, and if you hit a subject that you like, you may not be willing to go through 30 or 40 minutes of talk and boringness, to get to that point. I have hopes that before I end this vlog, whether it's today, tomorrow, the next day, that we'll get some more jaboticabas in the ground, maybe some more avocados in the ground, and maybe put some cassavas or something in the ground too. Maybe some white sapotes too. I only put 1 in the ground, and I was planning to do more, but also I'm trying to figure out where I want to put a Mr. Twisty cactus. There's a nice little skink in the compost bin. He's got a little log with a hole in it that he's kind of living in. And as we throw compost in, as you can see, there's like flies and stuff around. That gives them a food source too, and a place to stay. Well, I went inside for an hour or so. It looked like it was getting sunny outside, and now it all of a sudden turned dark again. Got a little bit of a sprinkle here, but it looks like it's just getting ready to storm. So it poured for like 30 minutes, and we got a little creek or a river running through our yard there. Well, our Mexican Tithonia, our perennial one here, the one with the yellow flowers, although it's not flowering, it's probably at about 9 or 10 foot at that tallest one. So it's grown, just since this rain started, probably 4 or 5 feet, over the last couple weeks. But it's still not as big as the one I gave to the neighbor that put his in the compost bin, which is like freaking, it went everywhere. Side, bushy to the side and up really tall. But seeing as all the water we have here, we're probably not going to plant anything in the ground today. Do we end this video, or do we hope in the next day or two to finish it up with some more stuff in the ground? Or are we going to keep getting so much rain that we can't, do anything out here?